I get it, you're staring at a dozen bench options online, wondering if you're about to drop a few $100s on something that will end up gathering dust in the corner. The fear of buying the wrong piece of equipment is real, especially when your home gym space is limited and every purchase has to earn its keep. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So let's break down whether the Puck new adjustable weight bench lives up to the hype, or if it's just another piece of metal that looks good on paper but doesn't fit your routine. First off, the biggest question most buyers ask is, will this bench actually handle the loads I plan to throw at it? The advertised max load is 300 kilograms, which puts it in the heavy-duty category. For most home users, that means you can comfortably load it with a standard barbell plus plates for bench presses, overhead presses, and even heavier dumbbell rows without worrying about sagging or wobble. In my own setup, I've loaded the bench with a 140 kg barbell for flat presses, and the frame stayed rock solid. That's the kind of confidence you need when you're trying to push past a plateau. Now, let's talk about the space factor. The foldable claim isn't just marketing fluff. The bench actually folds down to a fraction of its working width. If you have a spare room that doubles as a yoga space, you can slide the bench against the wall, fold the backrest, and roll it out whenever you're ready for a strength session. The mechanism is a simple hinge with a lock pin, so you're not wrestling with complicated levers every time you switch from a flat to an incline position. For people who share a living area with a partner, that ease of stowage can be a deal-maker. What really sets this bench apart from a generic flat bench is the range of adjustments. It offers multiple backrest angles from a flat position to a steep incline and a separate seat tilt. That means you can do incline dumbbell presses, decline sit-ups, and even some shoulder work without needing a separate piece of equipment. In a real-world scenario, I've used the decline seat for weighted sit-ups after a long day at the desk, and the angle feels natural without straining the lower back. The ability to switch angles quickly keeps the workout flow smooth, especially if you're doing a circuit that hits several muscle groups back-to-back. On the downside, the adjustment knobs are a bit larger than what you might find on premium commercial benches. They're sturdy, but you need to turn them a full 90 degrees to lock into each position, which can feel a little slow when you're hurrying between sets. Also, the bench does not come with an integrated leg extension or preacher curl attachment. If you're looking for an Al-Anon machine that lets you do leg curls without buying a separate station, you'll need to budget for extra accessories. That's not a flaw per se, it's just a trade-off for the bench's compact, foldable design. Another practical point is the padding. The cushion is thick enough to be comfortable for a few minutes of bench work, but it's not the plush, memory foam type you might see on high-end studio benches. If you're planning long, heavy lifts that keep you on the bench for 1,015 minutes at a time, you may notice the firmness after a while. However, the surface is covered with a non-slip vinyl that grips your back and keeps you stable, which is more important when you're handling heavy loads. Who should seriously consider this bench? If you're a dedicated home gym enthusiast who already owns a set of free weights and wants a versatile bench that won't dominate the room, this is a solid match. The 300 kilograms capacity means you can progress to heavier lifts without outgrowing the bench. It also works well for people who need a functional surface for core work. Think weighted sit-ups, Russian twists, and even a bit of plyometric training because the seat tilt adds a new dimension to those movements. Who might skip it? If you're training for powerlifting competitions and need a bench with a specific grip width, a built-in rack, or a precise, low-profile backrest for bench press standards, you'll probably want a specialized power rack bench. Likewise, if you're setting up a commercial gym or a large studio where space isn't a concern, you might opt for a bench with integrated accessories and a smoother adjustment system. The Puck new bench shines in the home environment, but it's not built to replace a full-size gym rig. Value for money is where this bench really earns its stars. The price point sits comfortably below many of the brand-name competitors that claim similar weight capacities. You're getting a heavy-duty frame, a decent range of angles, and the convenience of folding storage, all without the premium markup. In practice, you'll find that the bench holds up week after week, even when you're loading it near its max capacity for a heavy chest day. The only extra.